Continue the second part of Mughal Empire. In your previous video, you read about the Mughal Emperor Babur, Humayun and Akbar. Now you will read about other great Mughal emperors Shah Jahan, Jahangir and Aurangzeb. In the previous video, we read about Akbar, his expansion of the empire, his Rajput policy and the Battle of Haldighati. Now we will read about Akbar's religious policy. Akbar believed in the policy of equality, harmony, kindness and tolerance. He had established Ibadat Khana for the purpose of conducting religious debates and discussions with the learned people of other religions. He developed the Sulh Kul, meaning universal peace, and in 1582 he started a new religious faith or order called Deen-e-Ilahi. Now let us discuss about Akbar's administration. Akbar himself was the supreme commander of the army. He established a centralized administration and ruled with the help of various ministers. The Wazir advised him on all matters of administration. The Diwan looked after the revenue affairs and the Bakshi was the military advisor. The Qazi looked after judiciary and royal household was looked after by Khan-e-Saman. The emperor consulted his ministers in Diwan-e-Khas and common people in Diwan-e-Aam. Next Mughal emperor was Jahangir. Nuruddin Muhammad Salim, known by his imperial name Jahangir, was born on 30th August 1569. Was the fourth Mughal emperor who ruled from 1605 until his death in 1627. Jahangir was the eldest surviving son of Mughal emperor Akbar and was declared successor to his father from an early age. Jahangir was married to Shah Begum, a princess from Amber, who killed herself in 1605 out of shame at the rebellion of her son Prince Khusro. In the last 16 years of his life, Noor Jahan, his wife, exercised a great influence on him and even signed orders on his behalf. During Jahangir's reign, he continued with the policy of the military campaign and overcame resistance from many kings of Mewar and Kangra. He is famous for the chain of justice. The chain was connected to a bell and any aggrieved men could pull the chain and thus sound the bell or approach him directly. Gold and silver coins showing the pictures of Jahangir and Noor Jahan were also minted. English trader Sir Thomas Roe came to Jahangir's court and was granted permission to trade with India. He also wrote his autobiography Tuzuk-e-Jahangiri. Let us read about Noor Jahan. Meher-un-Nisa or Noor Jahan occupies an important place in the history of Jahangir. She was the widow of a rebel officer Sher Afghan of Mughals. She was beautiful and strong woman. She soon became Jahangir's favorite queen and assumed the title of Noor Jahan, Light of the World. Noor Jahan herself came to exercise considerable influence over her husband, and Jahangir is said to have relied heavily on her advice. Let us read about the next Mughal emperor, Shah Jahan. Shahabuddin Muhammad Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan was born on 5th January 1594. He was the fifth Mughal emperor of India. He is also known as Shah Jahan I. Shah Jahan assumed the Mughal throne on 24 January 1628 in Agra, a few days after the death of Jahangir. Shah Jahan was left behind an extraordinary architectural legacy. It was at his command that the Taj Mahal was built in Agra in memory of his favorite wife Mumtaz Mahal. Look at the beautiful picture of Taj Mahal, which was built by Shah Jahan, and it is considered as one of the seven wonders of the world. When Aurangzeb succeeded him, Aurangzeb captured Shah Jahan on 8 June 1658 and had him jailed at the Agra fort, from where the old emperor could look wistfully at the glorious Taj. Shah Jahan died in captivity on 22nd January 1666. Aurangzeb was Shah Jahan's sixth son, and he was born on 24th October 1680 at Dohab in Madhya Pradesh, and wrested India's crown from his father before the end of June 1658, after defeating his brother Prince Dara Shikoh armies. Dara Shikoh, the eldest son of Shah Jahan, was resident at Shah Jahan's court as the designated heir. Shuja was governor of Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. Aurangzeb governed the Deccan and Murad was governor of Gujarat and Malwa. Aurangzeb took his own father prisoner. Shuja's army was routed in battle and Murad was lured into a false agreement and taken prisoner. Dara eventually collected together another force, suffered defeat as before, and once again he fled, but soon he was betrayed by one of his allies and handed over to his brother. Aurangzeb was a staunch Muslim and imposed a tax called Jizya on non-Muslims and followed a policy religious intolerance. He reversed the policy of friendship with Rajputs and waged wars against the rulers of Mewar, Marwar and Bundelkhand. He sent his forces to Deccan to crush the power of Marathas. In the first picture you can see Aurangzeb seated on the peacock throne. In the second picture, a painting depicted from circa 1637 shows the brothers from left to right Shah Shuja, Aurangzeb and Murad Bakhsh in their younger years. Children, the death of Aurangzeb was the beginning of the end of the Mughal Empire, as his son kept fighting with each other as they divided the empire and became weak and indefensible. Let us read about Bahadur Shah Zafar II. Mirza Abu Zafar Sirajuddin Muhammad Bahadur Shah Zafar, also known as Bahadur Shah Zafar. He was born on October 24, 1775 in Delhi. Bahadur Shah Zafar was the last Mughal emperor and a member of the Timurid dynasty. He was the son of Akbar II and Lal Bai, a Hindu Rajput. He became the Mughal emperor when his father died on 28 September 1837. Following his involvement in the Indian Rebellion of 1857, the British tried and then exiled him from Delhi and sent him to Rangoon in British-controlled Burma. He died on November 7, 1862, AD Rangoon, British India, now in Burma. Let us discuss about the Mughal administration. Division of empire for administrative control into empire, subas, sarkars, parganas and village. Mughal administration was divided into different categories. Mughal emperor, wazir, bakshi, diwan, qazi, khane-saman, mir tuzuk, kotwal and daroga. Let us read about Mansabdari system of Akbar. It had a system of ranking for all appointments to determine salary and privileges introduced by Akbar. The empire was divided into different mansab. The rankings were based on the number of men and horses the person commanded. In Mansabdari system, men were registered and horses were branded so that the account was maintained. The highest ranking person was with 7,000 horses and horsemen and could attend court of the emperor. The lowest was with 20 and was considered a sepoy or a servant. Let us read about the agrarian policy of Akbar. Agriculture was the main source of revenue income for the rulers. Todermal, the revenue minister, played an important role in devising a new land revenue policy. Under this policy, land was divided into four main categories: Polaj, Paruti, Chachahar and Banjar.